Hey everybody, it's Dan here from Real Brave, another podcast, video podcast, waiting for Kevin to come out. We had a good show this weekend. It was very exciting. Hey guys, you did great this weekend, right?
Yes.
Everybody?
You did great.
Awesome.
We have fun?
Awesome job.
Yeah.
It actually really inspired them. This is like his best drum lesson he's had in a while.
It's that inspiration. We had a show this weekend, so it's the inspiration to move forward, and that's part of practice, is being able to see the results, right? Because once you get frustrated in anything, I was talking about practice for a really long time because we're doing our 30-day practice workshop, which I'd love to talk about at some point. But the thing about any show, any performance, so when you get on stage and you've given someone a dose of your work, it's inspiration to move forward. So, I'm going to take this off. Again, my name is Daniel Powers, and I'm very humbled to be your humbled guest as we wait for Kevin. If you have any comments about Real Brave, what we're doing, I'd love to hear it and love to talk to you and chat with you. In fact, I'm going to talk to some people right now and get them on because it's fun. And if you can't hear me, let me know because we still have technical problems. I broke my interface last time. I broke my face. Broke my face. All right. Tell me how you're doing. Hit me up. Where's Kevin when you need him? Today we're going to talk about some news, 'cause that's kind of fun. Christmas music. And we also have a special guest. We're going to talk to one of our students about his experience in learning and get a first-hand view of what that's like. Hey, learning's a process. Like I was saying before, I was filming videos for this workshop and talking about practice all day. It really makes me think of the process of learning. Like, I learn differently. And the reason why I learn differently is only because of just who I am, I guess, right? But I like to learn by doing. And if I'm doing something, say like if I'm learning like a computer program, I can have it side by side. I just eat it up. If you're going to test me on it, I'm probably not going to do that great. I think part of like, maybe you agree with me, maybe part of the
Real Brave Radio.
Maybe part of the whole issue with the learning system these days is testing. But let's not talk about that. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Dan. Nice to see you again.
Good. I got one of your titles here. Let's see.
Oh, good.
What's this one? Ah, yes.
Yeah, this is true. Memories on the phone.
You know what's funny is that this movie didn't come out yet.
Really?
No, it's coming out soon.
Interesting.
No, it's not interesting. That's why it's probably going to be out for 2 seconds.
Oh, okay. I'm still not going to see it.
No? All right, well, last week we talked about cats. That's going to be our cat discussion for quite some time. We're not going to talk about that.
For 2019.
Yeah. I did get this video of you doing something you love.
Yes.
Kevin, what are we doing today?
We are learning
I
some
don't know if
Christmas
this
songs,
plays
Dan.
audio.
Okay, what Christmas songs are you learning, Kevin?
Among the most classic of them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Right now we're working
Ready?
on... we're going to start right where the verse starts.
Okay.
I think it actually does play audio. No, it's really cool.
The curtain lift.
This video is Kevin playing his favorite song of all time with a student. He's a really talented student, by the way. And I caught him
To an E-flat bar chord. Actually, we're not there yet.
teaching.
All right. So we got...
What's the name of the song?
All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yes.
Yep. Here's the thing, though.
What?
Personal preferences aside, in terms of what I like more than other things. If my student likes the song and he wants to learn the song, I'm 110% all about learning that song.
I'm totally getting everybody to learn that song with you.
I really hope so.
And Kanye loves it too.
Kanye's a big fan.
He's a huge fan.
He wrote that song actually.
Didn't he go out with Mariah Carey?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, is the setup of the song any good? Is the
Are we talking about
the
harmonically?
Yeah, like is it any good?
So it's in the key of G. It goes to the 4 chord C. And then what you could be described as either a C minor with an E flat in the bass, or just an E flat chord, which case would be the flat 6 of the key of G.
Uh-huh.
So structurally speaking and theoretically speaking, it holds up. It holds up pretty good. It goes to the 6, then the 2, 5, 1. It's a pretty straight ahead in terms of popular music. I think that C minor is its probably defining characteristic, as in the song "Creep," and that again, that's folks at home. I know you're all big theory heads. It's that minor plagal cadence. So if we're talking about cadences, we're talking about how songs or phrases resolve. So the most common in Western music, the most common cadence would be an authentic cadence, which would be from the 5 chord to the 1 chord. Ta da, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do. A plagal cadence. Now you got to think of Handel's Hallelujah chorus.
Okay.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
That's very
4.
churchy.
That's the 4 going to 1. It's a plagal cadence. It's Amen.
Very churchy.
And so what that song does, as does Creep, as does other songs, is takes that 4 chord and makes it a minor chord. Amen. Yeah.
That's so boring.
And it goes to the 5 to 6. That's the secondary dominant, which in the key of G would be the B7 chord going to an E minor. I think. I'm not bored by it.
I know you
thrilled.
love it. But
Sort
it
of
just
taking the air out of my balloons right now. That air hornet.
Hey man, to each his own, right?
I'll leave this
How do you teach theory and make it fun?
here. It takes a special kind of learner, somebody who's interested in it. If one of my students, if they're not really interested in it, I won't dive too deep into it. I do have students who like that kind of stuff blows their mind, and then we can get like deeper into the physics of it. Like Paul, who will be on later.
I talked about it.
Paul
McCartney.
He's a scientist by trade. Science. So we've talked about how sound waves interact with each other in certain ways that make this want to resolve to this.
Yeah. The science behind it,
Yeah. Like the physics.
right? The physics
And
and,
the
science.
neurology too, which I'm not a physicist, I'm not a neurologist.
Well, this is interesting. So, can we talk about that with him?
Yeah, a little bit, I think. He's more of a chemistry guy, I think.
All right. So, music hits people in different ways.
Yes.
For me, it hits the heart. For other people, it hits the brain.
Sure.
Does it hit the heart and the brain? Is the question.
Does it hit the gut? I've been hit in the gut before by some.
But it's hitting
funky
your
bass.
heart.
What about the hips?
I think it hits your heart first, and then it hits your hips.
That's a really interesting area of discussion.
It is.
I have not prepared any remarks.
We can also talk about how shiny my forehead is.
It's pretty shiny. Weren't you doing some shooting earlier?
We were doing test shooting.
They didn't make up you up.
We didn't do makeup today.
Oh, okay.
But heart and brain. So we've got it's the Wizard of Oz of music right now, folks.
And courage.
Only at Real Brave.
Real brave. Courage. Courage.
If you're out there, hit us up at Real Brave Inc. Come on now.
I like a little bit of both, honestly. There are certain movements in music that pull those heartstrings, like the old standby of going to that minor chord and then that.
That's classic. Yeah. You're singing Let It Be?
I'm singing Let It Be, Don't Stop Believing, Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
You know what? That'd be an interesting thing to do.
All those songs in the 4 chords.
Do like a medley of chords, like how it's like 4 chords or 50 songs, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Take on me,
Take on me.
take me on, take on me. If you start that progression, actually no, we'll do another one. Just a small town girl, living in a lonely world. Can you feel the love tonight? When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me.
4.
I won't hesitate no more. This cannot wait. I'm yours. I'm the biggest fan. I follow until you love me, paparazzi. Can't think of any more off the top of my head. But if we start that chord progression on the second chord in the progression, start on the A minor. Hello, will I slide? Despacito.
What is it? 1514?
1564.
1564.
That's it. That's right.
1564. Okay, so 1564. These are 200 songs that use 1564. So 1564, even for like a silly, not knowing so much music theory nerd, is a very they're popular chords that are in a key.
I wanna be your beast of burden. I forgot how that goes.
What? Beast of Burden?
Yeah.
Never be your beast of burden.
I'm trying to think of the groove. So that's maybe.
I think it's in the wrong key.
It could be this. The beast of burden. Yeah, it's cut time. That's why.
Never be your beast of burden.
Figure it out. I'm seeing.
Where'd you find that?
That's
in
maybe
B.
the 12th down because I didn't recognize any of those other ones.
Yeah. A Letter to Elise. You didn't know A Letter to Elise by The Cure?
No. What's wrong with your throat? Demons. I've taught that one, but I forget how it goes.
Imaginary Dragons.
Dragons. Which update on that? So
Yeah.
this concert, we said we weren't going to play Believer, but we did.
You did.
Yep.
We had a concert this weekend. I was talking about it.
Popular demand. Oh man, it was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
On this very stage where we're sitting right now.
Yes, this very stage. And I'm proud of everybody. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Back to the 200 songs you play with the same chords over and over again. You're in the key of
C.
Down Under by Men at Work.
Down under. Right?
I guess so. And Forever Young? No.
I wanna be forever young.
No.
No.
Going? Nope. Hair? Lady Gaga. Who made this list?
There are
Hey
more
Soul
songs
Sister.
than this.
That's definitely.
Hey Soul Sister.
Same 4 chords.
No woman, no cry.
I was just singing a song last time.
No
No scrubs.
I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy who can't get no love
Yeah.
from me. That's not right. That's got to be a no. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love. So that's a 6, 4, 5, 1.
They screwed up.
So it's technically a 1, 5, 6, 4, but it starts on the 6, which in that case you might want to analyze it in the minor, which would be 1 to a 6, the flat 6 to the flat 3 to the whatever 7.
Okay.
1, 6, 3, 7, 7, 3, 3, 7.
You like Alicia Keys?
I do.
This tune, my daughter Avery used to sing over and over and over again, which is "No One."
Cool.
No one, no one. Okay. I keep wanting to do this. If you caught that. Pork and Beans. Push Matchbox 20. Right Here Waiting by Richard Marx. It's a terrible 80s song. I don't know how to play this.
Oh,
Is it?
it's a
Get it.
okay. It's a tiny guitar.
It's a tiny guitar. Wherever you go, you've listened to it on you. Yeah.
That's how I know most of these songs.
Waiting for you. Yeah, it's a terrible song.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. It's a well-crafted song played 1,000 times. And that's what makes it terrible. What's that?
I think that's Party in the USA.
Ooh.
Something.
Okay.
No woman, no cry.
Cry.
Under the Bridge.
All right, but here's the thing.
Yep.
These aren't in the same key.
No, none of them are.
So they should be in the same key. I think that would make sense. The average listener would go, "Oh yeah." So it should be same chord, same key. That's I think would be the trigger.
So there's probably maybe 20% of that is in C, and then like a lesser percents in other keys. That would be my guess.
Under the Bridge is
E.
in E.
I
Yes.
think.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it got that big E major 7th chord. Walking Disaster. I don't know what that is. With or Without You.
Yep.
Anyway, so there's a lot of songs that
So and the
use the same chords.
and the reason we got onto this was because we were asking, does it hit the head or the heart? And I feel like this chord progression has traditionally for decades, if not centuries, or even perhaps millennia.
Millennia, that's bold.
Probably centuries. Millennia, I don't think. The 12-tone row hadn't come around until around, we'll say, 800. Music historians don't correct me, or do correct me, because I'm always looking to learn. What was it? Oh, yeah, so it's just probably centuries, this 1, 5, 6, 4, for some reason has made us go, oh. Or at least maybe made us feel nostalgic in some sort of way, or because it starts in a happy place, it starts in a very happy, I'm home, right? Mm-hmm. Home key, and then, okay, well, this is less stable, but I'm anticipating going back home, but then all of a sudden, oh, where am I? I'm lost. Oh, there's the light, and I'm back home. That's kind of how I look at that.
All right.
Leonard Cohen, I mean, he took those chords and in the song Hallelujah,
Yeah.
is literally talking music theory during the song. The fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, Baffled King composing Hallelujah. Right. So yeah, I mean, there are definitely certain emotions attached to certain chords or progressions of chords or melodies or even rhythms and all of music. Yeah, there's a huge emotional aspect to it because we're emotional creatures.
Right. So that's where the divide, for me personally, happens, is that the science gets in the way of the music. That's not to say that it's wrong. I'm just saying that for me personally, I'd rather feel it than to analyze it.
Well, what would be some music that you feel like is like more analytically geared, that hits the head maybe before or more than the heart?
A well-crafted song, if I'm learning it, and
But like-
as I'm learning the parts, I'm seeing how it was put together,
Right.
then I'll be like, okay, this is very well done.
But is there anything off the top of your head, like specifically, like genre or song or artists or any of those that like, for example, like I think like bebop jazz,
Yeah.
it's very head oriented, brain oriented to a certain degree. I mean, there are certain that like will like hit me and be like, oh yeah, I feel that. But it's like, I don't know, because a lot of jazz and funk, like I feel it, but not in the same way as like a 1-5-6-4. I feel like yeah, like in the pocket, feel good, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then there are some stuff that's like they're thinkers. They're real thinkers.
I'm not a thinker in music. Oh, I had one of those. So, Christina is asking me if I know John Sullivan. Oh my God, yes. We were just having this conversation. That's how we know each other. He's my cousin.
Oh, so you know him? You probably know him pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody knows their cousin very well.
Well, Hey, Brendan, how are you? Brendan's watching.
Hey, Brandon.
Thank you for watching, bud. How's the printer business going? Christina.
There's a joke in there. I'm gonna think about it. You talk.
Okay, you think about the joke. Yes, that's my cousin, and that's how we know each other. I believe there's a connection there. That's why I look familiar. What a small world. I'm having like a flashback right now. If you want to pontificate on that online, that's great. But now we know that's how we know each other, and that is funny because she does look really familiar to me.
Oh,
She
yeah.
knows my cousin Sean.
Oh, okay. Cool.
She walked out here. She said, "You look really familiar to me." I'm like,
It's a small world. One of our students here used to work with my sister-in-law. She was like, "Are you related to Brian Bagar?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I worked with Brooke." I was like, "Oh, cool." And it was like a small world moment.
it's a small world after all. Is that in 1-5-6-4-5?
It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world. There's no 6 in that.
If you want to have a terrible time, go to Disney World and wait in that line.
Sure.
Okay. So, what else did Christina say? We shared Thanksgiving. Yes. Yes, we did share Thanksgiving. Okay. How long ago was that? That must be now.
Yeah, that can't be recent memory. Side note, I thought of a great joke. Brandon has the printer business.
Brendan.
Brendan has the printer business. I tried to think of a joke, but I haven't an inkling of what to say. I'm sorry. I'll go home forever.
Brendan says I asked him how the printer business is, and he says he's trying to make some paper. Oh!
I feel so embarrassed for myself for not thinking of that. I'm really good on puns.
You are. You missed it. Thank you, Brendan.
Thanks, Brandon.
Brendan.
Thanks, Brandon.
Bagar.
That was it. That was perfect.
Thank you. I said it today, though. I was like Kevin Bagar.
Bagar.
Bagar. It's a small world. After all. That's crazy. My mind is blown. Kevin, play Last Christmas, please. This is Nicholas. That's Christina's little boy. This is our friend George Michael.
George Michael. And Wham.
Can I get the lyrics? It's too early for Christmas. Right? Didn't we discuss this already?
Yes, and I believe the consensus was that Christmas began on November 1st, and then we'll take a little break next week to give thanks, and then Christmas will resume until January 10th.
We discussed that. If you missed it, a couple weeks ago, we discussed that you have Halloween, doom, gloom, zombies, killing, blood, destruction. The very next day now, I'm giving my heart away to Christmas. Last Christmas. Santa Claus is coming to town the very next day, so it's very confusing. I don't know how you're going to sell that to children. We want Santa Claus to come to town, totally, 100%. He needs to come to town. Does he need to come to town after you're wearing a zombie costume? Is a question that I want answered.
What does Santa go as for Halloween?
Santa goes as Mrs. Claus. Okay.
2019.
Because it's okay. Christmas all year long, that's right. We've got people talking. This is nice. So, isn't that the right key though? Last Christmas?
This is the right key.
This year, save me from tears. I'll give it to someone special. Last Christmas, gave you my heart. Very next day, you gave it away. This year, save me from tears. Give it to someone special. I don't want to do that anymore. Santa comes right after Halloween. That's right, Nicholas. You're a very good musician, my friend. I'm very jealous.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had great teachers growing up.
Oh, who's your teacher?
My first
Please
guitar-
comment, guys. Please comment. I love it.
Well, before I started having any teachers, I had Google, and that Google only got me so far.
Okay.
Then I started taking lessons at a place in Midland Park, and my teacher's name was first Ed.
His name was First Ed?
Oh no, Ed.
That would be amazing if his name that would be amazing.
Well,
his band name could have been First Ed instead of like First Aid.
First
Ed.
Ed.
All right, sorry.
And then so yeah, my first teacher's name was Ed, and then my second teacher's name was Fred. Ed was very clean cut looking. There he is.
There he is.
Fred had like long shaggy hair and a beard.
Okay.
I think it was Fred who showed me Smoke on the Water. Let me get you a chair.
All right.
And then after that, big shout out to Willie Dalton of the Dalton Gang.
We have to move over. We got our special guest is here.
Yes.
Very. I'm excited to say smarter than us.
Yes.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you've chosen a career outside music.
We're gonna have to move over a little bit more. It's a small stage after all. Wait, where's the? It's a small stage.
So the camera is there.
Yeah, the camera's over there.
Okay.
Cool.
I think your head's cut off a little bit though. You okay with that? It's just after Halloween. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Paul Thorne. I'm one of the students here. Is this a Real Brave podcast?
It is.
Okay.
It's live. Look out.
So, yeah, I've been taking lessons here for a little over a year, maybe a year and a couple months. And when I'm not doing music, I'm doing consulting and attempting to be a parent.
We all are, except for Kevin.
No, I'm not attempting.
Yeah,
that.
I have two kids, one 9 and one 12. One who may be one of your students.
Oh, cool.
And probably after the new year.
Oh, we'll keep that. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Terrific. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show Paul Thorne.
All right.
He is one of my students, one of my adult students.
You're actually 9 years old, aren't you?
He's young
A
at
little
heart.
over.
He's young,
Little
young at heart. Paul,
Maturity level, maybe.
I had the honor of performing with Paul this past Sunday at the concert, the Real Brave New Jersey Fall concert, and it was a blast. You want to talk about that? What song you played? what
Sure.
instrument,
Yeah,
all
we
that?
we did "Hurt Like Mine" by the Black Keys, and I'm a big fan of the Black Keys, and it's one of their earlier songs. Their earlier stuff is kind of more, I don't know, I guess it's a little bit more raw.
It's bluesy.
Yeah,
it's
bluesy.
bluesy.
It's kind of the earlier stuff where it's really just Dan and Pat on drums, and that's kind of where I like them really the most. And it's got a good, a riff to it that I like, that's kind of repetitive, but then it's got a bunch of little mini solos or lines that kind of give the song character as you play through. So that's what I really liked about it.
It's a good exercise in finger picking. It's a good exercise in these blues licks in E, and it was a lot of fun to play. It was fun to come up with a bass line for it.
I bet
Come up with the bass line.
Yeah,
It
because
doesn't have the original song is just guitar and drums, and that's it.
so I was just kind of making it up.
He didn't have a guitar pickup, bass pickup when he plays it, like when he played it, or
I'm not sure.
because that's the thing. Like you have the bass pickup on an electric guitar, and then all it's doing is just mimicking what you're playing on the guitar.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I knew that.
Maybe.
Not that bright.
That was one of the highlights of the show for me, though, was when we first started. Because you had to leave right before that, right?
I did.
We started that, and George counted it off, and it was 1, 2. Then we both did 3, 4. Boom, cha, boom, boom, cha, boom, boom, cha. That was fun.
Yeah, that was good times. Yeah, it was good. And for some reason, when we've been the few songs, and we worked on a song earlier in the lessons with finger picking techniques, and for some reason to me that comes a little bit more naturally. We talked about it when my fingers are in contact with the strings rather than kind of secondarily through a pick.
Right.
I feel I have a better control, better feel for what's going on.
Yeah, geographically, like because we have 5 fingers we use to pick, and
Sometimes.
and that thumb can pretty much alternate between the top 2 strings. You get a really good handle on knowing where your hand is based on
Right.
what string you're feeling at any given moment. Picking in itself is it's an involved technique, and there's a lot of nuance to it.
We've got a question here from I don't know if this is Christina or if it's her son. It probably is.
That sounds like a Nick question.
Anyway, so Kevin, what's your favorite song?
My favorite song.
Your favorite what?
My favorite song, which probably the only person listening to the podcast will actually know, is the song "Horn"
Oh boy.
by Fish. I love
good
that.
song.
I love that song. I wrote a harmonic analysis on it, and it's so beautiful. It's one of those things we were talking about. I'll show you how to do that correctly later. It's one of those we were talking about if the song hits you in the heart or in the head
Yes.
or in the brain.
Which one I wanted to talk about with you.
If the song hits you in the head, try to put ice on it. But it's one of those songs. Sorry.
Thank
how
you,
you do it.
Nicholas. No, it is Nicholas that asked. So
Yeah, it's a great question, Nick. It's one of those songs that hits me both because at first glance, when you listen to it, it's like, it's got that melody. Where? That's the thing. Listen for my horn. For my horn. And it modulates through, I think, 3 or 4 different keys, and it's got this like nice soaring melody. And the guitar, when he switches to the distortion on the, it's just.
here's the problem. Here's the problem. We've done 10 of these.
Yeah.
This is the 11th,
Oh, it is.
and every single one you've managed to stick Fish in there somehow.
That's not a problem.
That is a problem for most of the general public.
So what you're saying is I talk about Fish too much?
No, I think the only reason why you want to do this is because you're trying to spread false propaganda about a band that doesn't really exist. It's really in your mind. And all you guys, like, it happens once a year that everybody goes to Madison Square Garden. They point up at the sky, and then everybody's wondering why.
That can't be true. You're lying.
I'm not?
Or is it?
Well-
what about I have concert? I've gone to concerts. I remember them clearly. Like, just Fish enthusiast.
Well, we want to explain that
So
before I destroy this segment.
right. So Nick, if that's you asking. The band Fish, spelled with a PH, is a Vermont-based jam band. They came to fruition, I guess, mid-'80s. They formed in '82 at the University of Vermont with Trey Anastasio, John Fishman, and at the time
Page, right? Page? Or
Page.
was- yeah.
No, it was
No,
Mike.
Page was at another college, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He was
Yeah.
somewhere else. Page came on later, and in 1988 they released Yunta.
Fish Rocks.
Fish Rocks. Thank you,
Sarah Lords. Sarah Lords, it's nice to meet you the other day.
Thanks so much for coming on and watching. Anyway, both better. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that because I love both bands. Anyway, Fish is a band, Nick,
Fish is a band.
and you keep coming to lessons with me. I'll show them to you next time.
It's like the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? So what came first, Grateful Dead or the Fish? And Grateful Dead came first.
Quite.
And just like this little meme suggests,
Oh man,
Um,
you're blowing it.
I just blew it. You blew it! I totally blew it.
Get out of there, Sarah Lords.
Come on, get out of there. Just like this meme suggests. So it's the other day. It's The Rock saying, "So is this Grateful Dead CD almost over?" And then looks at the girl and she says, "This is still the first song." And he looks back. That's hilarious, because that's true. All right, so enough of that stuff.
Are you asking me to reel it in?
So talk
And
to
you're
me
not
about.
even a dad, and you come up with that.
Talk to me about. So you said you're a consultant.
Sure.
All right. Sure, but and that means like you get paid for stuff.
I get paid to, well, I guess in a sense, I get paid to solve other people's problems.
Really?
Yeah, I'm an environmental consultant, which this can get really boring really fast. So,
well, we've been
I'll
listening
I'll
to-
try to give the.
We spent the first 15 minutes talking about music theory.
Yes.
Okay, so in what I do for a living, there's lots of companies who have made a lot of messes over many years, particularly in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Old industries, so they've spilled oil, they've spilled chemicals, they've gotten things into the soil, into the
Bad stuff.
groundwater. Bad stuff. So fast forward a couple decades, now the government and everybody says, hey, you need to clean that up. But these companies are in the business of making whatever they make, whether they make, gas and oil, or they make pharmaceuticals or whatever.
Fertilizer, so-
They're not in the business of cleaning the environment enough. So that's why they hire people like me to come and figure out what it is. And mostly what I do is investigations.
Okay.
So I go and do sampling for soil and groundwater and try to figure out what it is, how bad it is, where it is, and then we come up with the solutions for what we need to do about it.
But you have a science background.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
went to school for the science.
Yes, I went to school for biology.
So that's smart stuff. This is not talking. We're not talking about fish anymore. We're talking about smart stuff.
No. Although I would not say that music is not smart stuff.
No. It is. It is. But this is the jump off.
Okay,
So
okay.
we started the discussion, and I thought this was a great place to discuss. So music to me is heart or head, and it's hard to have both. So heart. I'm more. I'm an auditory learner, so I'm someone that can listen, be like, okay, and then it just comes out, just like that, right? Can I do it again? Thank you. I'm also an immersion learner, so like if I'm doing both, like the theory portion of it, I could do. I don't enjoy it. I can't like Kevin can analyze a song and sit there
Sure.
and go, oh, that's 1.65. That's this. I could kind of see that. I understand it. I can have a conversation, just like generally. So, do you come from the heart because of your background, or are you coming from the head? Are you listening? Are you like, this is...
I think
I'm in the Dorian mode right now.
As a fan, when I'm listening to music, like the kind of music that draws me in, that's definitely all heart. Because what gets me into a band when I want to listen to something, if I like it, I really am not spending a lot of time thinking about how they're making it or what, it's how does it move you, and that's kind of what gets me in the door. I think when it comes to playing, I mean, there's a there's a head part of it. There's a mechanical part. You need to physically do certain things to
But
make.
isn't that just instinct? It's not necessarily just.
It is, well, for me, like I have a much bigger background in singing than I have in instrumentals. So I all throughout, middle school all the way through college, I did music and theater, and I wish I could sing, but I can't explain to anybody how to sing.
That's
like
true.
to me, it's like that's all hard. I couldn't, I know how to hear a sound and reproduce that sound, and my voice is my voice, and the tone I make is the tone I make.
Right.
I don't know how anybody teaches that. I don't know how. I mean, obviously people have vocal coaches.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it works. Like if somebody doesn't have an ear, or
Right.
can't make the notes, I have no idea how teachers teach how to sing.
It is a whole different universe.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff that, it's so personal.
Right.
Because it's inside of you.
Right.
Like, if your left arm was a guitar, I think it would be very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
and so in doing music and
Really
doing
weird way of
in doing singing particularly and doing theater, it to me and in that end it's all heart. There's a bit of it when I'm reading a song new and I need
Yeah.
to learn the notes and where it's going, but after that, I would say it's all heart. I also did saxophone for about 10 years growing up.
Uh-huh.
And I never felt like I don't think I would say at any point in that time it was heart.
Okay.
Like to me, it was just reading the notes on the page, playing the notes on the page, and I was always playing in band in school or in jazz band, and so I wasn't doing like improvisational stuff, and I
Okay.
wasn't really bringing a lot of what you could consider like a heart to it.
I think when it comes to improvising, you have to have a certain level of understanding of the theory and the mechanics and the notes themselves in order to express them in an emotional way. So like when you think about like the blues, right? The blues is like the blues is the blues. Like I got the blues. Like right? But like it comes from before you can. You got to know what those notes are. You got to know at least what that scale is, or the fingering on the scale. You don't have to necessarily understand them, but
Right.
you got to know where they are, and you got to know what they sound like, for the most part.
But then you look at the blues guy that's on stage and just gone. Matt Siegel used to play with him. He's been on this a couple of times. Is one of those guys. He would be on stage. We used to be in a band together, and he would just go bye bye.
Cool.
One of these guys.
Yeah.
And he's just all over the place, killing it. That's hard.
And
but
then-
you've gotten it down to like a science where you're just kind of like, it's in here, it's never going anywhere else.
Right,
And that's
and
the goal.
There's
right?
like a level too of like muscle memory when it comes to like if you're like shredding and that kind of stuff. Like you've done that like hundreds,
Muscle
thousands of
memory.
times.
So
Well,
I mean,
to me, yeah, it's like, the ultimate goal to me, like in learning guitar or learning it, is if I could get to the point where I could make the sounds come out of my instrument that I have going on in my head. With singing, I don't have to think. I don't spend any time thinking about, how do I make this note come out of my voice? I just sing the note, and it's just there. Whereas anything with an instrument, there's got to get to that point where you know where the notes are, and then, and particularly how they're organized. I never got there with saxophone. I played for a lot of years, and I could play it if I'm reading it. But as soon as I got off the page, I never had that feel for like I never got to a point where I could improvise with it, or got to that. But I would say like the long-term goal is though at least to get proficient enough that I can. It's like if I'm thinking about a certain line of notes, a certain melody, that I could just make that happen.
And what we're working on right now in our lessons are arpeggios, right?
Yes.
And then once we have the arpeggios under our fingers, the practical application of them, like in a chord progression, like to be able to pull out an E minor arpeggio to just, at your will,
Right.
without like having to look at tabs or anything like that.
there's a saying, when in doubt, arpeggio. Isn't that the saying?
No, it's when in doubt, lay out. That's what I was taught.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
When in doubt, arpeggio.
When in doubt, arpeggio.
It doesn't even rhyme.
No, it doesn't. That's why I do this for a living.
Okay.
For a non-living.
Sure.
Nobody pays me to do this.
Yep.
You guys have a lesson right now?
Yes. We should probably get started.
Yeah, because it's like 15 minutes after.
Yeah.
But it's a pleasure, and I hope. How are the half-hour lessons working for you? Really quick, so I know you gotta go.
We actually moved to an hour.
You did?
Yes, we did.
Very nice.
But they were fine at an hour.
And then at a certain point, you have to go.
Yeah,
past
it's
that.
just it's like with an hour you got more time to kind of dig into an idea.
Yeah.
If you're trying to learn a song and learn a skill like a new kind of arpeggios or a new scale, it's hard to fit that both in a half an hour and make substantial progress. You need a little bit more time
You do.
to dig into it.
It's an investment. You're making an investment in your life, and it's a priceless investment, I hope. You're with a good guy. He knows exactly what to do, how to do it. How's Practice Pad working for you?
It's good. It's good. I think, I mean, to me, I definitely like it with the videos. I like it when, like, if we're working on a particular scale or something where I can, particularly when it's zoomed in, I can see what he's doing with his fingers.
Right.
That's really helpful.
Okay.
For me, I think
That's the concept.
I mean, that's a
behind
really
it.
good. That's a really good tool. To
It
have
is.
That.
It's meant to be a tool. It's meant to so that you can track. It's meant so you can see. It's for the auditory learner. It's for the visual learner. It's for the person that likes to immerse.
The videos, I mean, like, I used to YouTube, like, how to do this. And, like, there would be some guy explaining it really fast, and then, like, I'd try my best to grab onto it. But what I like to do for, like, my students, as you've seen, is, like, if we're talking about, like, a scale or something like that, like, because I know you
Yeah.
personally, like, I can, like, focus in on certain things that I know will work for
Well,
you.
it's particularly challenging with the guitar because the easiest view is straight on to the fretboard.
Right.
But it's really hard to get a camera angled where somebody looking at it can see what string you're actually like. They
Right.
can see roughly where your finger is, but it's really difficult to see where they're actually pressing down. And so that's a big challenge. I mean, I use Practice Pad. I also look at YouTube videos
Got
of
it.
all sorts of
Gotta do it.
people doing things, and I've yet to see one that always gets it right. And some do better than others. But I mean, I just there's a lot of fine detail going on in a very small amount of space, and that's
Yes.
really difficult to capture.
Yeah.
That's why it's gonna be until someone figures out the physics of it. I don't think an in-person instructional thing is ever gonna go away. But the physics of it's gonna take a very, very long time.
And quantum computing.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 3D touching, and I don't know. It's all gonna be very
I've even
inappropriate.
tooled around with like Rocksmith. Have you ever played around with Rocksmith?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's just
I tried a little bit. I didn't get very far, but I had never taken any lessons when I did it.
Oh.
I'd be curious to go back and then try it again.
Is that like a thing, like musician kind of?
Imagine. So, have you ever seen like the game Rock Band or Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
That Guitar Hero's Rock Band is basically if you had a 5-fret guitar with one string.
Right.
That's what Rock Band is.
Right.
Rocksmith tries to take that idea, the way it's set up with colors and schemes, but make it actually with 6 strings in the whole
Oh, wow.
fretboard. And it kind of moves around and zooms in, but it's the same kind of thing. You've got a scrolling bar of colors and notes coming towards the screen.
Interesting.
That lines up. So it looks kind of, it basically says if they took that idea from Rock Band or Guitar Hero and tried to actually, kit it out for the rest of a full guitar. And it kind of expands its level of difficulty. Like when you play a song, it'll just pick the most basic like chord lines in it, and then it watches how accurate you're playing, and it'll make it more complex as you go along.
Cool.
And simpler. If you're struggling, you can stop it and take a little piece of a song and slow it down.
I would
and
check that out. That sounds fun.
it's an interesting tool. I still have it, but I haven't gone back to it. Since I tried it several years ago. I'd be
Okay.
curious with like a year of lessons now and a little bit more comfort how that goes.
I learned to dance from Dance Dance Revolution.
Look at that. I know somebody learned how to play drums from Rock Band.
Actually, I played around with the drums. I don't know if I was learning anything, but I had a lot of fun with
Yeah,
it.
I mean it's giving you the basics.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's to say, it's like the guitar thing isn't really anything like playing guitar, but the
No.
drum is not. I mean,
It's pretty close.
yeah,
Yeah, it really is. 'Cause you got the kick, you got this, and you got this too. So that's once you're there, you're gonna go. And I know you guys got to go. It's an
All right.
absolute
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for being on here. And I'd actually love to. Maybe we can figure out like an actual topic of the science behind music. There's a couple books. I'm not a big science behind the music guy, but there is a lesson to it that
I
I
was,
think it.
I was telling Dan before how like I've gone at length on like the physical properties of the waves and how they interact and make tension happen.
In recording, yeah.
It bores most people.
Recording wise, I can go there. In the music, maybe not so much. Sarah says, "You learn to dance," and on that note, no pun intended. She's busting your chops, man.
She's earned that right.
She's earned that right. You did a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing those pictures you took at the show. Thank you, Sarah Lords. Thank you, guys. Now get on out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of Real Brave Live. Thank you so very, very much. Please like us on the Facebook. If you're probably watching us on the Facebook, you already like us, so I don't even know why I said that. Thank you for walking right in front of the camera.
Did you say the Facebook?
Yeah. Facebookery! Bye, guys.